you can see the challenges that I face, but I may not be able to see yours. Do you believe you can be better tomorrow than you are today? I can remember struggling to find the courage to take my hands out of my pockets until I had a coach tell me this: you'll never reach higher with your hands in your pockets. I was so inspired by his words that I decided to throw the javelin. I didn't set many records, but I certainly kept the crowd alert. What inspires me about elite athletes is that regardless of their achievements, they never stop asking the question, how can I reach higher? They choose a continuous improvement mindset, and their desire to achieve more motivates them to do more. Champions look for every possibility to get better and then approach it with intensity and purpose. Your talent gives you the opportunity to develop skills. If you want to reach a little higher, take your skills, make them great, and never stop working to make them even better.
And we are always pleased to have Roger Crawford join us on TC Live. Great to see you, buddy.
Nice to see you too, my friend.
To tell us a little bit more about that first coach who told you that the only way for you to reach higher was to get your hands out of your pockets, because as a young man, that couldn't have been an easy thing for you to do.
Well, no, of course there was a tremendous amount of fear, but what it communicated to me is wherever there's an opportunity, right, there's always a risk. They always go hand in hand. And he taught me just to believe in myself, and I think most importantly, Brett, he said, everybody's got challenges. Mine you could see. Well, you don't have any challenges, but mine you could see. But other people's maybe you couldn't see, because the greatest limitation that we have is the way we think. Real handicaps like mine can be overcome. It's the imaginary ones in life that really disable us.
Well, we're surrounded by elite athletes here, and they go through a lot of ups and downs, hills and valleys, sometimes slumps in their careers. What was your lowest point, and how did you pull yourself out of that space?
Right. Well, I can remember feeling discouraged and asking, why me? But I think what really got me through it was realizing there were some things in my life I couldn't control, but I could control my attitude. And I really believe our mindset is the single best predictor of our success, because, we only perform as well as we believe we can. And so when I looked at my life, certainly I had some limitations, but everyone does in some form. When you think about reaching a little higher, Brett, we were talking about this, I think of Roger Federer, my favorite player. Of course, I love his name. But, you look at the elite level, Shauna, like you were saying. You look at the elite level that he's attained, and look how he's continually looking to get a little better. Champions never let acceptable get in the way of exceptional. They're always looking for ways to get a little bit better, no matter how good they are, no matter if they're #1 in the world or 100 in the world. They're always looking for ways to reach a little higher, like I said in the segment.
I'm curious, you say we all confront challenges. I think it's very true. I'm curious how you tailor that message to a younger audience. When you do your speaking and you're speaking to teenagers, for example, I'm thinking now of Mark Rajekian, who's a friend of Tennis Channel as well. I know you guys have spoken together. How do you tailor your message, though, to younger people confronting challenge?
Well, first of all, I tell young people, you have to accept what you cannot change. Accepting what you cannot change is not a weakness, I don't believe. I think it gives you the strength to change what you can. It's identifying how you're gifted. Sometimes we look in the mirror and ask, am I gifted? But I think the more important question is how am I gifted? Because then you don't let what you cannot do get in the way of what you can do. And so that's what I would tell young people. Also that to celebrate their uniqueness. I mean, there's never been anybody in the world exactly like them. Don't try to be like somebody else, right? Spend all your time and energy being yourself. That's plenty good enough.
We're with Roger Crawford. All of his Motivation Monday pieces are available on tennischannel.com. In your piece that we saw at the top of the segment, you talked about the continuous improvement mindset. And yes, great players like Roger and Serena are constantly looking to improve. It's not just for athletes, it's for all of us, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. The world changes rapidly, and sometimes we buy into the myth. We say, well, I can't wait till everything gets back to normal. Well, we all know that normal's ahead of us, not behind us. So a continuous improvement mindset is looking forward to normal, realizing that what is great today is just going to be good tomorrow. We have to always improve and evolve, whether we're in business or in education or professional tennis. Continuous improvements has got to be part of the plan. We can't, stand still. I think that's one of the greatest risks that we have, believing that, what brought us here today is going to keep us here today. And, the world changes and we have to change with it.
When you come to an event like this, you're a tennis guy, so you'll watch the stars on the big court, but you'll also roam the grounds. When you come to a tennis event like this, what are you seeing that the rest of us might be missing?
Excellence. I'm blown away by the athleticism, and also that everyone that's on the court is a tremendous athlete. It really does get down to belief and gets down to mindset. I mean, we are so fortunate to watch these great players that have stayed at the top for so long, and I think we can learn so much from them. The other thing, John, that I think is that people watching, it looks easy. But when you're close to them, you see the tremendous effort, and watching them on the practice court and watching how diligent they are. I mean, I find it incredibly inspiring, but I think we can watch what the great athletes do, and we can take those principles and apply them into every area of our lives.
Roger, it's always great having you. And by the way, I know the javelin thing was just a metaphor, right? I mean, I know that it's just a metaphor, but I've seen you play tennis. I wouldn't put it past you.
Thank you, Brett.
Roger Crawford, who inspires us every time he visits. We are working our way towards live tennis. At the top of the hour, Milos Raonic kicks things off against American Marcus Giron. Zverev to follow. Venus after that. Back to the desert in a moment.